someone reach beyond the boundaries of human experience to face the unknown. As children, we question the world around us. We learn, we accept, and gradually we lose our capacity for wonder. But some do not. The explorers, the seekers of truth. It is these pioneers who define the future of mankind.
Hey, what's up everyone? Here we are back at you, Rank It, first official review of the year. We got Rise of the Tomb Raider, we got me, Mr. Clips. Let's go. Alright, so before we get to the actual review, let me just say this is the review of the PC version of the game. I know the game's been out for consoles for a while now. We were just waiting for it to come out for the PC so that we could grab it and review it. And I gotta say, as a longtime fan of the series, I was not that down. Alright, so this game follows up with the story of the previous one that came out in 2013. It was a big reboot for the series, developed by Crystal Dynamics. So we backtracked to when first Lara was not an adventurer at all. And during the first one, she had to develop her survival skills, basically. She became the Tomb Raider. So Rise of the Tomb Raider is the continuation of that one, and it's an upgrade, basically. Now, I have not played the first one, so there's not a lot of comparisons I can do, but let me just say, even if you haven't played the first one, you should grab this one. It's a great game. Rise of the Tomb Raider is a great action platform game. It's got a great pace to it with some nice puzzles and some really good action sequences for you, a nice overall cinematic look to it, amazing level design, and with some pretty cool character development for Miss Lara Croft. Alright, so the story of the game. Well, the story is pretty much what we're used to in the Tomb Raider series. There's an artifact, Lara has to find it, it will probably save the world, and there's a lot of bad people coming after her. Now what's cool about the story is that it integrates Lara's inner conflicts with her father's death and the way she kind of struggles with values and morals. I don't want to get too much into it so I don't spoil anything for anyone, especially because there's some really nice plot twists that I was totally not expecting. I'll just say it's an overall great story. They kept it short and simple. The voice acting is really on point. It makes you feel tense, but sometimes it's a bit too much, especially with Lara Croft's heavy breathing.
What's going on down there?
Not that I'm complaining or anything, but... Now the ending for me felt a bit lackluster, especially because during the whole game you feel so tense, it feels so much action-packed, and the end was just, okay, it's over. But I guess they have to keep a lot of questions open for the next one to come. Now the graphics and the presentation. It's a great looking game. From the amazing lighting to the complex sets and maps that are pretty vast, the level design in this game is epic. Now because it is a game so dependent on its platform aspect, it kinda gets a bit repetitive from time to time, but because the levels change so much and because there's just action being thrown at you, you're not gonna get bored of it. It's also got some nice, simple menus for you to keep up with the leveling system, all the crafting, etc. Now from time to time I did experience some performance issues. I think the game could be a bit more tweaked in the graphics sense, but there's nothing really game breaking for you there. You're always going to be jaw dropped from looking at all the amazing sets. A bit of an FPS drop really won't destroy the game for you. Alright, so let's jump into what makes the game what it is, which is the gameplay. I would describe Rise of the Tomb Raider as a platform adventure survival action game. On the platform aspect, you got the typical, there's a lot of stuff to climb, balancing on ropes, high stake jump, all that stuff, and it's all greatly done. I'm not a fan of platform games, and I had a blast running through the sets because the way it is done in the gameplay. You got a bunch of different tools for you to utilize to get around the sets, and eventually you'll get a couple more, which is great because this way it opens up new ways for you to explore the environments. The controls are pretty simple, you just use a couple of buttons for you to grab, jump, climb up, go down, all that stuff. But it does feel a bit clunky at times, especially climbing down ladders. The adventure side of it is also great. From the crafting system to the challenges to the side quest missions that you get in game, there's so much stuff you can do on each map, you'll truly feel like an adventurer. One thing that really stood out in the game, and I'm talking about the adventure side here, is the puzzles and the challenges that will show up. Now if you venture off into certain parts of each area, you'll find these hidden tombs, each of them equipped with some nice puzzles with some interesting mechanics to it, although some of them did feel pretty easy. Not only does this add a great sense of exploration to the game, but it also allows you to sort of switch up the pace. So let's say you just ended a big action sequence, you kind of want to take a breather, you just go off, explore. As I also said, the game features a nice crafting system. It's very simple, very straightforward, things are well explained to you, and the fact that there's so much stuff for you to craft, so many weapon upgrades, so many different ways you can play the game, really adds up to the whole experience. On the survival side of the game, it's not overly done, especially because they can't really make it a survival game because it's not open world, but it does add some nice depth to the gameplay. You'll have to hunt animals to get their hides so you can craft stuff, salvage materials that you find, pick up herbs for you to craft bandages, and from time to time just pretty much defend yourself from bears and wolves. Now the action aspect of the game, it kinda left me a bit divided. On one side you got great action sequences, tense moments, all the action-packed stuff, which most of the times is gonna leave you jaw-dropped and pretty much breathless. Now here's what I did not like about the game. First of all, I think the AI is way too stupid. Most of the times you find yourself shooting someone in the head with an arrow, there's a guy standing right next to him and he's gonna just say, "Hey, let's check the bushes."
Almost got it. Shit still works. You better check it out. Be right back. I got.
Currently I'm on my second playthrough in Survivor, which is the hardest difficulty, and I feel like there's a slight improvement in the AI, but nothing really that brings a big nice challenge. Now the fact that you also got a stealth element to the game makes it even easier, and that's pretty much because the enemies don't feel like they're aware of what the hell is going on around them. So yeah, for the action aspect of the game, I say it needs a bit more of a challenge. Overall though, the gameplay is amazing. Nice pace, great variety of stuff to do and ways to play the game. Really the only things that stood out on the negative side of the game was the dumbass AI and from time to time some clunky control problems. There's one more mode of the game besides the main story, Expeditions, which for me was pretty much ignored. I think the overall idea behind it is great. It's like a way of making a single player game a challenge where you get to revisit the places you've been already and you got little small challenges for you to complete where you can break and set your records. But it got quite boring for me after a while. But nonetheless, it's there if you want to try it out. I think it's fun for the first couple of times, especially because as you play through the game, you'll actually unlock these packs and you can actually buy them in this place called the Marketplace. Now the Marketplace is like a shop basically. You can buy stuff in there with in-game coins that you earned throughout the story, or you can inject some real cash into it. Now these packs will give you cards that will give you special abilities for the expedition modes. Some of them can add a bit of difficulty to them, like you starting without ammo. Others will add little funny elements like being a bobblehead. It's a nice little fun mode for the game, but nothing really that adds much to the overall experience. Right, so now let's jump into our final verdict for Rise of the Tomb Raider. Rise of the Tomb Raider and ours truly Miss Lara Croft gets a captain ranking. Like I said, Rise of the Tomb Raider is an amazing game with overall very few flaws to it, and things that could be actually pretty easily fixed, in my opinion. From the storyline driven by Lara's conflicts and mortal struggles, to the epic maps and settings, and to a gameplay with an amazing sense of pace and variety, Rise of the Tomb Raider is definitely one of the top dogs of its genre. Alright guys, so that does it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, don't forget to drop a comment, a like, or even subscribe to us. If you didn't, let us know what we can improve on. That's what we're looking for. So thanks again for sticking with us. I'm Clips, signing out.
Come on. You've got a plane to catch.